let's go around the room. Just give me your first name. Like, if today was, like, God gave you a free pass to use any drug with impunity, right? Like you wouldn't suffer any negative consequences or whatever that is. Like, what would be the drug that you would pick?
Grass.
Okay, so, well, you want to go ahead and start? So,
Your name?
okay, so,
Mary Jane.
okay.
Name? Who are you? Bo. My name is James, and I'm alcoholic.
James?
Mary
Okay.
Jane.
Okay. Mary Jane. Got it.
My name is Scotty. I'm an alcoholic addict. I don't know, euphoria, man. My drug.
Don't lie.
Keep it 100.
Now, and then my sponsor told me once that I was addicted to more. Okay?
To what?
More. Right? He said, it doesn't matter what it is for you, Chris. Okay? He goes, if it makes you feel good, you just want more, right? So that's an addictive personality. But if I had my choice and I could use it without any I would use meth.
Really?
That was my drug. I loved meth. Okay? That was my thing. Okay? Well,
I'd have to say cannabis.
okay, pot. Okay. Weed.
I ain't Patrick. Eugene, whatever you want to call him. Vodka.
Vodka. All right.
That no.
Okay.
No more, no less.
Screwdrivers.
Nope, straight vodka.
Oh, just straight. Okay.
That no.
Why dilute it, right?
Put it out.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
David, all the beer I can drink.
Beer. Okay. Ray.
Brandon. Beer.
Beer. Okay.
Come on, Brent, you know you're a crackhead.
Damn. What would you drink? What would you use?
Cocaine.
Coke. Okay. All right. Another speed freak.
Todd, drug your choice, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you got. Alcohol was first, but that's kind of my gateway drug once I found opiates. So opiates.
Opiates. Okay.
All across the board, any kind of opiate.
Any kind. Okay. Even IV.
I haven't shot up.
You haven't shot. Okay.
Russ, Bud Light.
Bud Light. All right. Okay. Like a Super Bowl commercial with Russ. All right. So.
Everett, I would like to do. I want to do crank hard and
Okay.
bourbon, and then I'd be happy.
Okay. A little mixture. All right. Greg.
My name is Greg, and I'm an alcoholic, and if I had my choice, I'd like a speedball.
Speedball.
That's one of my
Ooh.
favorites.
Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jason, recovering addict and alcoholic. Like a nice double shot crown on the rocks with a couple of lines of good old fashioned cocaine.
All right. A little cocaine chaser, right? That's right.
I left out the crown water.
Okay. Go ahead.
The
Yeah.
name of alcoholic, alcohol.
Alcohol. Okay.
No matter what.
Doesn't matter. What kind? Do you have a preference?
Well, beer mostly, but
Beer.
you know, like shot here and there would hurt me.
Okay.
Talk to us, Big Bear.
All right. And yeah. Alcohol. Okay.
Okay.
Cocaine. Alcohol.
Crack.
Josh, I'm gonna say Opanas.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, let me see you.
It's probably not the best thing one.
Okay. All right for you, right?
What was that again?
Opanas.
Yeah. What's the hardest drug to quit?
The hardest drug to quit?
It's like
Cigarettes.
it's right next to
Cigarettes?
I've never done heroin really, so
Yeah.
it's an opiate.
It's a mix
Basically like a
between.
really,
Hardest
really
drug to
strong
quit?
Vicodin.
Anybody know?
Yeah, it's a mix between.
Caffeine, nicotine, and caffeine.
Barbiturates.
I
What's
heard.
the hardest drug to quit?
Barbiturates.
Alcohol.
I heard
Nicotine.
nicotine was.
Your favorite drug. Okay. You cannot tell a late-stage alcoholic that it is easier for them to quit drinking than it is someone who's been using crack for 9 months. Okay? Because, remember we talked about, like, if you've been through some of the lectures already, how long does it take for your brain trauma to heal once you quit using? Up to 2 years, right? Depending on how long and how much and the type of drug. Okay? So a late-stage alcoholic will look at you and say, don't tell me quitting drinking is easy. Okay? And the truth is, I've been sober now for 27, almost 28 years, okay? And the one thing that nobody ever told me when we first came around is that all of us, if we could, would still go back to drinking and using if we could find a way to do it socially or like responsibly. Okay? Late stage alcoholics and addicts have crossed a line, right, where they go, you know what? I know that it is not a good idea for me to drink or use today, but by the end of the day, I will do what it takes to get high or drunk, no matter what. And when you cross that, you know, you can't explain it to somebody that's never been there. You know, like you ever tried to explain to somebody like when you really want to get high or drunk, how hard it is not to that day that's not an alcoholic or a drug addict? I mean, they look at you like what? Like, I had judges say that to me, right? Like, what is wrong with you, Mr. Knudsen? Are you, like, you must, they tell me that you're not stupid. I actually had a judge say that once, you know, that, you know, in prison, they said, you know, only 2% of the population is considered gifted, like with a high IQ, right? In prison, you know what the percentage is?
25%.
29. 29% of the people in prison are considered gifted intellectually. Okay?
What percent of them are handicapped? You know, that's mentally disabled.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot, okay? Because they're self-medicating, right? Okay? There's a lot of self-medication as well, okay? What makes it hard for smart people to not use?
Intellect.
Because you justify yourself to use it.
Right, okay. You know, my sponsor said, I worry about you, Chris, because you know what? Only smart people can convince themselves over and over again that a bad idea is a good one. He says, you have more ways to create an out for yourself and a reason to use, right? He says, if you were just a simpleton and you were like just mentally challenged, you'd burn your hand once and go, ah. Okay, like we talked about before, my brother was he was mentally retarded, and we got sober at the same time because he got arrested one time for PI. Because the group home that he used to live in, the managers there used to take all their Social Security checks and take them out and go drinking with them. They got fired eventually after my brother got arrested because they finally figured out what was going on, that they were, you know, there's a special place in hell for people that take advantage of kids, mentally retarded people, and old people, I think, okay? And so he got arrested for PI because they left him at the bar after they drank all his money. And he was walking home and he was just falling down on the street, you know? So we were both getting sober at the same time. This is me after like 8 years on probation, right? And I'm really trying to work it. And he called me one day and he goes, hey, Chris, guess what I learned at AA today? I said, what's that? He goes, if you don't drink, you don't get drunk. If you don't use drugs, Chris, you don't get high. And I was like, it's not that easy, damn it. Like, what? Oh, and he goes, yeah. And he goes, and you know? He goes, and you know how mentally retarded people love, like especially boys and like men that like that. My brother was a 10-year-old his whole life, right? Basically, that mental capacity. They love uniforms and like firemen and cops and all that kind of stuff. You know, they just love that. And he said, yeah, and the cops like don't get mad at you. And the fireman, Chris, will let you come and wash the trucks on Sunday with those dogs with the spots on them, you know? But if you're drunk, they won't let you do that. And he says, and if you feel like drinking or getting high, you can call somebody and they'll come over and help you not drink and not use. And your head doesn't hurt the next day, and you have more money in your pocket. And he's saying all this stuff, and I'm going, it's not that easy, damn it. What? Like that, I was like going, yeah. He just like, and I just slammed down the phone on him, right? My sponsor was there, and he looked, he goes, who's more blessed? Who is more blessed, Chris? You know, they say ignorance is bliss, right? And my brother never drank again. Never did that after that. He was so afraid of getting arrested again because he was such a simpleton, right? That's all he could think about was like, you know, he's the one that I got the phrase from. I said, you really hated getting arrested. He goes, I don't ever want another free ride in a police car. That's where I got that phrase from my brother, okay? And it was like, so the smarter we are, the easier it is to go back and have that. Somebody said euphoria, like euphoric recall, okay? To go back and think about all the good times. It's human nature to want to forget your pain and to not want to stay attached to it. That's just human nature, okay? But, you know, if you look at the stages of change, and some of you have gone through this before, okay? is that change is the hardest thing that we do as people. Nobody is motivated to change. There's a saying in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that we are motivated to change as only the what? We're willing as only the, anybody know? Dying can be. The big book of Alcoholics Anonymous says that we become as willing to change as only the dying can be. In other words, you have to feel like all your choices suck.
My mama used to say, you don't see the light, you feel the heat.
That's right, man. You know, but that only lasts, you know what, that only lasts for a little while, right? Because, you know, part of addicted thinking is it's called there and then thinking. Well, when I get there, then everything's going to be okay. So a lot of people say, when I get off probation, then my life's going to be great, okay? When I get out of the halfway house, then it's going to be great. When I get a job, when I get this, when I get whatever. And that's addictive thinking, because when you're in active addiction, you go, when I can get my stash and keep my stash and use my stash. So your whole life gets centered around drinking and using. And then when you can go use, you're constantly waiting to get there, right? The more addicted you get, the more you're waiting just to get there to where you can actually be using. And if you're a really good late stage alcoholic and addict, like I was at the end, like I didn't want to work anymore. Work was an interruption to my using, you know? It pissed me off to have to go to work. And I didn't go to work unless I was high, because people go, why aren't you at work? And I go, I'm not high. And they go, what? I go, no, you don't want to see me going to work not high. Okay? It ain't going to be pretty for anybody. All right? That's late stage addiction. Okay? So it makes it really hard. Change is really, really hard. My sponsor in AA say, Chris, all the exits have to be closed off. Alcoholics and addicts are slippery. And we have to be. We have to become slippery in order to keep using. And so we build escapes for ourselves all the time. All the exits have to be closed off. And like Eugene said, be facing that the heat to where you go, this choice sucks, this choice sucks. Okay? And so, but for me, it took at 24. I was facing 20 years in prison the next time I got arrested. Plus, I got diagnosed with cancer. At that point. And the doctor said, we want to give you chemo if you drink coffee or smoke cigarettes. So I had to quit smoking cigarettes and everything all at once. It sucked. Okay. Everything all at once, right? Okay. They said, if you keep smoking and drinking coffee, we see you drinking coffee, we won't give you chemo because your immune system is so impaired after using from the age of 10 to 24. You don't have one left right now. And the doctor told me that. He said, Chris, one alcoholic binge on a weekend impairs your immune system for 2 months. One cocaine binge on a weekend impairs your immune system for up to 6 months. Suppresses it, okay?
Your immune system?
Your immune system, right? Makes it harder to function.
Is that for everybody or just?
Everybody.
Is that because the alcohol or the cocaine taxes your system?
Yeah, it taxes your liver, and you can't break down. It's harder to break down toxins. So for 6 months, you can't function as well after a cocaine. 2 months for like an alcohol binge. Things like that. And so he said to me, how long have you been using daily? I said 10. From 10 to 24, that's like 4. He goes, holy crap. And he goes, and kids, like if you get addicted before the age of 14, 15 years old, it's so much harder for you to get sober as an adult because you don't have all the social skills that other kids get when they're growing up in healthy homes. They're taught how to be in touch with their feelings, how to resolve conflict, how to communicate, how to negotiate, all those kind of things.
So, I would almost bet my right hand that everybody up here is drinking and partying by that age. Yeah.
Anybody not drinking and using before 14? Okay.
But that's the majority.
Yeah, so the majority is, yeah. So it makes it harder. Because when you get sober and you look in your bag of skills, you go,